Hi, I'm Rob Goldstein, exercise physiologist. Welcome to our next scene about talking about understanding cholesterol. All right, so I'm just going to go through the numbers for cholesterol with you so people can understand these. It's a very important thing to do. This is a really important thing for you to understand. And hopefully I'm going to make it easy for you so that you can get a grip on this and that you can help with your own treatment a little bit better. All right, there's a few different numbers when we look at cholesterol. There are a few different numbers. All right, so the first number is what they call the total cholesterol. So that is the total. So we want this number to be underneath 200. So the total cholesterol, we need to be under 200. All right, if the total cholesterol gets to 200, or 239, it becomes what's called borderline high. All right, this means that the arteries are starting to build up a little bit more, and it's possibly time for some treatment depending on your history. This can also be controlled by diet sometimes, but as far as what's going to happen, it's a good idea, to work with your doctor and come up with a plan that's going to help you keep those numbers down. If the total cholesterol gets up to 240 or higher, that's what's considered high cholesterol. All right, so 200, under 200 is where we want it to be. 200 to 239 is moderately high cholesterol, and 240 is high cholesterol. So now I want to talk about something that's called the LDL, which stands for the low density lipoprotein. Okay, LDL is the bad cholesterol. All right, this is the stuff that gets caught up in your arteries and can create plaque and can possibly lead to heart disease or heart attack or stroke or aneurysm and all these bad things. All right, so where I just gave you the numbers on the other, let's go over them again. So the total we want to be under 200. Let's just leave it with that. The LDL, the bad cholesterol. All right, your doctor, if you don't have diabetes or heart disease, is going to want it underneath 100. All right, if you do have diabetes or heart disease, they want it to be under 70. All right, so this is where it needs to be. It's very important that it's here. Now let's talk about the HDL cholesterol. So the HDL cholesterol, we sort of talked about a little bit earlier in the program. The HDL cholesterol is the good cholesterol. All right, the good cholesterol is something we want it to be as high as possible. Because remember when I talked about that, say the good cholesterol, you have debris and different plaque maybe building up in the arteries, and the HDL cholesterol is going to act like a Pac-Man and just go through and eat up all this junk so that the blood can flow, and you can have good blood flow and circulation back and forth between the heart and the working muscles. All right, so keeping the HDL high is very important. All right, so less than 40 is low for HDL and is a risk factor for heart disease. If the HDL is 40 to 59, we're getting better, and that is more in a medium type of range. All right, if it's above 60, this is excellent and gives the heart very good protection. All right, so let's just remember that the HDL is the good cholesterol, so we want those numbers to be as high as possible. What they do with the HDL is they'll take the HDL, which is what? It's the good cholesterol, and we're going to divide it into the total. So when we divide, say the HDL is 40. When we divide the 40, say the total is 200. If we divide 40 into 200, we get a ratio of 5. We want the ratio to be below 4.0. So this is why getting up the HDL cholesterol is always important, and at the same time trying to lower the total and the LDL. The HDL can be increased by exercise, a little bit of weight loss, and eating fish and omega-3 type of oils. The total and the LDL basically can mostly only be reduced through diet. Remember, we talked about another number before. This is another lipid. All right, we talked about triglycerides. So triglycerides are another type of lipid that are found in adipose tissue, and if they get very high, can actually become dangerous. So we want to keep triglycerides below 150. So triglycerides, again, funny thing, if we raise HDL, cholesterol, triglycerides often come down, or vice versa. If the triglycerides come down, HDL often goes up. Don't quote me on that, but I have seen it happen time and time again. All right, so let's talk about treating cholesterol. All right, so what's the most important thing you have to do? All right, the most important thing you have to do is if you go get your lab test taken, to get the lab test. All right, people go to the doctor, they get their labs taken, and they don't know what they are. And you can't assume anything. You can't assume that they didn't call you because they're great, or they didn't call you because they're terrible, or, possibly they didn't call because they're overly busy, they don't have time to call. So you need to be proactive with this because these numbers are very, very important. They can save your life or they could change your life. So if you have your cholesterol taken and you don't get a call from your doctor within a week, sometimes the other way about it is you can go onto their website, because usually these doctors have their own website where they give you your information and you could take a look at them yourself. So now hopefully you'll have a little better understanding of these numbers. But I would always, ask the doctor or the nurse practitioner or the physician's assistant to go over these numbers with me because they're very important. So please don't assume because nobody called you that the numbers are either good or bad. You don't know what they're going to be, but it's very important that you know these numbers. All right, so what can we do to help to keep cholesterol down? Well, we could go see our physician regularly. All right, that's a very good thing because they can test us regularly. If they need to, they can put us on a statin for different type of medications, or they could say, hey, you know what, let's eat lower fat food, let's reduce our diet, let's exercise. I mean, there's many, many different things that can be done, but it's always good to work with your physician. So we want to eat low fat and stay away from processed foods, a lot of vegetables, all right, and this can help lower LDL in the total. All right, if the HDL is low, we can use foods that have omega-3 oils like salmon and nuts and different types of good fats. All right, we can use different types of fish oil. If the HDL is really low, the doctor may want to do like a niacin or put you on some fish oil or niacin. This is common because, again, that HDL cholesterol is what's going to keep those arteries clear. So if that's low, we need to figure out ways to get it up. All right, exercise can also help to raise HDL cholesterol. And basically, there's many different ways that we can look at cholesterol. Hopefully you know the different numbers now and have an understanding of the total, of the LDL, what the ratio is, what the HDL is, and you have a little bit more of an understanding. But when you get your labs taken, call your doctor, go over them, and I think this is going to help you with your program and your exercise. And again, I thank you very much. My name is Rob Goldstein. I'm an exercise physiologist.